It did. We got it. We got it to work last week.
Okay.
We finally did.
Talking now. Can you hear me?
They can hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dulcet.
I'm in Max. You are listening to Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. I'm in Max. Pursuing the RPG hobby with reckless abandon.
Why, hello. And welcome to Season 20, Episode 19. Almost the end of Season 20. And you know what's after Season 20?
No, what?
Drinking age!
Oh no.
Oh wait,
Season
we're not
20.
legal to drink yet? Oh man.
We'll no longer be teens.
Season 20, Episode 19 of Happy Jack's RPG Podcast. My name is Stu.
My name is Kimmy.
Jib. That's me.
Start. I'm here next to Jim. That's how I know where I am, because I'm next to Jim.
I'm not sure about your mic now.
Yeah, right? See how that works?
No, it's you're dulcet now.
I could move it up.
I turned you up. No, don't do that. I just turned you up.
All right, well, now it's up.
You have a Polish friend who's a sound engineer.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Czech one, too.
You about the guy that went up a pole and came down a Russian?
Oh my god, you guys. Seriously.
First one to... Okay, you win.
All right.
Check 1, 2. I get that.
It takes a minute, but it's funny.
Oh, yeah. Sound
we
engineer
need to
humor.
work on your definition of funny.
Niche humor.
It is niche. It's
There's
definitely
sound
niche
engineers, like all 10 of them that listen to this show.
who are like, hee hee hee. In this episode of Happy Jack's RPG podcast, this is going to be podtastic.
This is gonna be so good.
Chris from Ontario sends us a note on describing scenery. Chris in Canada, it's a Chris episode, sends
Well,
us...
it is close to
What?
Christmas.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Hanukkah.
It's a mass of Chris's. Christmas.
Heyo!
Work with me on this. Come on. I laid it out.
Eric, Chris from Canada, or Canada, sends us a note on, if you're French, on D&D falling damage. Actually, Chris from New Jersey, Eric from New Jersey has a GM victory story, and Minnesota die tosser,
Whose name is Chris?
whose name is Chris for now.
We've decided.
And also, we're going to start calling Eric Chris as well.
Yes.
It's a mass of Chris's.
Sends us a question, some news, and a horror story.
All right.
Oh, we need that soundbite. The horror.
We're not doing a tip this week because it's the holiday season, and I couldn't come up with one.
Don't give tips.
And
during
plus,
the holiday
all of
season.
the GMing tips, I've written episodes 3 through 10 of Season 2 for GM Briefing because we hit the Patreon goal of...
We did.
I'll give you a tip. Don't give your 10-year-old a Daisy Red Ryder bolt action BB gun.
You know why?
You'll shoot your eye out.
Right. That's why I keep all the BB guns locked up in my gun safe. My son asked me, "Where's the key to the gun safe?" I'm not. What?
No, Jack. You don't get the key to the gun safe.
No.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Meanwhile, your daughter went, "It's right here."
Yeah.
No, they can't find it. It's actually in a different safe. Email, if you'd like to email us. You can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Not our mail, not D-mail, Gmail.
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 Is there a lot of problem with people emailing us in other mails? I guess you wouldn't know.
How
'cause
would
you
I
didn't put
know?
that. I don't know. You just were
I'm
very
just-
specific
I'm
about
playing
that.
the odds.
So I was just wondering. The odds are
There's
that nobody's making that
25
mistake.
other
letters.
ex-males.
Yes. Okay. But I'm just saying.
Don't mail it to female.com or we'll be disgusted at.
What?
I'm going
Sorry.
to duck now while Kimmy hits you.
Social
I love
media.
like how he's shitting on me for like throwing off the intro when he's just spent like the last 20 minutes
I'm not.
talking about.
I'm not bagging on you for it.
I know. I'm just.
I
Kidding.
just was seeing. I'm trying to figure out how to get female into the joke, and damn,
Well,
not all of them are Maseratis.
you know what? Mail's already there. You don't have to do anything. All right. Ready to go.
I need to mail it in.
It's all you need. Social media. We're on Twitter.
We are.
Happy Jacks RPG. All one word. It's amazing we were able to get that. Also on Instagram. Happy Jacks RPG.
And
All
Facebook.
one
All one word. And we have a live stream here, and we do the show live on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific time, happyjacks.org/live. That is also where you would go if you would want to watch any of our plethora of actual plays. And what we got going on right now, we got Razor Ridge,
Yep.
we got Spaniard's Ghost,
We do.
we got Tales from the Loop. Is that started yet, or we just had to Karajan?
Character Gen, and it's starting this Monday. Is the first like play session. Not this Monday. I'm sorry.
No, it's not starting this
No,
week.
no,
No, it's like three.
Soon.
weeks.
I forgot. Yes. Look on happyjacks.org
2 weeks.
schedule. 2 weeks.
That would be
yes.
the 7th?
No, the
Sixth?
7th is the first episode of your Vampire Dark Ages game.
So,
That's a Sunday. So the 8th will be
oh, the 8th.
yeah,
Okay, all right.
Tales from
Somebody
the
needs to look at the schedule and let us know what's going on because we've lost.
I have
track.
no idea where I'm supposed to be.
Happyjacks.org/schedule.
schedule.
We'll get you there.
Yeah.
Now
We have a
d-
Discord too. Don't forget we have a
we
Discord.
don't have a sponsor. We almost had a sponsor. We don't have a sponsor.
Aw.
But
They found out we were coming on.
yeah, they found out
They're
that
like,
Kimmy
Kimmy's
was
going to
gonna
be here. I'm not going to have this. Yeah, no.
But I mean, it's the holiday season, and emails went back and forth, and they probably just didn't
People
get
went
it.
on vacation.
But I wanted to do this because I got this. I can't see it.
It's
is
none
it
more
pretty?
black.
Is it pretty?
Sure, yeah.
Look at that.
It looks.
It's so
It's like
beautiful.
how much more black could it be? And the answer is none. None more black. This is the Easy Roller Dice Kickstarter. This is their dice tray with lid and staging area, and I'm opening this for the first time.
It's an unboxing.
It's
right
an unboxing.
I don't remember what I got,
There's
but I did put
a
in for one.
picture of it on the box you just held up.
Well, I know it's no, but
Oh, okay. I'm just reminding you.
oh, is it the same? Is it the same thing?
It's a picture of
I
what's
think
in the
that's
box.
what's supposed to be included in the package.
Oh, it has the Celtic knotwork dragon on it.
Ooh.
And
It
see, you
kinda
can
looks
see
like a
that
comic.
the cellophane is still closed.
He's very old school. He likes
Yeah.
to bite his cellophane.
Who doesn't?
All right, so it's how many facets is that? It's a six.
This would be an octagon,
octagon, right?
also called a stop sign shape.
It's not a dodecahedron.
We're nothing if not educational.
No, dodecahedron would be 12-sided.
Yeah.
In 3 dimensions.
Ooh, it's got the lid. It has the lid with the
nice.
little deal and the little.
Logo.
Okay, so
Easy
that
Roller
works
Dice
as
logo.
that works as a dice tray.
This is the dice tray.
You're smelling it. What does it smell like?
Leather.
Actually, what you're probably smelling is the glue. But maybe I don't think it's leather. I
It
don't-
doesn't. You
we love
smelled
to
it. It
smell
doesn't
glue.
smell like
It's
anything.
leatherish.
It has no smell.
We love to smell the glue. Why
100% Naga.
Why are there 2 walls?
This is the staging area. Then
Okay.
you put your dice here and you roll your dice here. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
See, like if you got, yeah, nice contrast. Oh no, those are the wrong ones. Oh well, I was going to use the yellow ones.
Oh.
But see, you put your dice down here, and then you don't have all the muck when you put it. You put it in the tray all the way,
And you have a
all
lid.
the way up, all the way up.
Yes.
So
And where do you
can
go?
Close everything.
Oh,
up
which
with it.
dice did I roll? I don't know because I only have one tray.
Oh,
This has 2.
there's 2. It's,
There's a-
this
see,
more
there's
than
a-
one.
It's not just one. It's one more than one. But it's the staging area. So you can put your dice out there. When you actually roll, then you don't have to worry. Because like in Vampire, when you're rolling
Right, you've
nothing
got, like,
but D10s,
And 30 of them. Yeah.
and it's like if all my D10s are here and I roll them and I happen to hit the other D10s, it's like, okay, which ones did I
ones did I
roll?
roll?
I'm kind of digging it. I'm not sure I saw a need for it, but you just now
I
pointed
think
out.
so. And it's
get it.
also it's small because I have the other. This is the other Easy Roller
Well,
Dice
I mean,
tray.
the best part about it is that, like Jib was just saying, like
It's got a lid.
It's got a lid, so it's like a
It's
dice
also a dice
bag slash.
transporter.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all in one. It's a thing
Right.
in one.
But like this is the other one, and it's much larger. But like for me, because I'm kind of a space whore when I'm GMing, this is a much better size
yelled at
for
a
here.
lot.
Yes, because you encroach on my
No,
space.
I'm doing important work.
So there you are. There it is.
All right, children.
And I don't know if they're selling this outside. I'm assuming they're selling this outside of.
Probably eventually.
EasyRollerDecks.com
beautiful.
just got a free advertisement.
Yes,
They did.
Because I got this just in time for Christmas.
And look, it fits. It's like
Yeah,
it
it's like
looks
a-
like Minas Tirith.
It's got a two-tiered effect
Yes.
going.
Like Kimmy, it looks like Minas Tirith.
So yeah, I guess if you close your eyes and,
And it's
like
got a-
stand on its side.
It's got a Celtic Knotwork dragon, which is
Yeah, that's very
fantastic.
cool.
They had several designs. That's
Oh,
the
you
one
got
I
to
picked.
pick your design. That's
Yes,
cool.
you got to pick your design. So
Cool.
there it is, and it got
Smartly
just
done.
in time.
Smartly
Nifty.
done. Love it.
So I love it.
Here we are.
Oh, there's something else I wanted to mention. Red Moon Role Playing emailed me, and they're doing an actual play podcast. They play in Dark Worlds, and they're trying to do it like an audio drama. So they stay in character the entire time. There's no like crosstalk or table stuff.
No.
And what are they running? Let me find it. Cult.
Yeah.
That is.
It's powered by the apocalypse.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. They're running Cult. Campaign is set in. Is this the right one? Yeah.
1991, unreunified Germany.
Yep. And the Soviet Union against the backdrop of the collapse of the Eastern Bloc.
Let's block
It's
with a
called
C.
with a C. Yes. Block.
Block.
Not
Block.
block. And the campaign is called The Black Madonna. And so there you go. Give them a listen, and that is at redmoonroleplaying.com. That's redmoonroleplaying.com. I will strive to put a link in the show notes. Thank you for contacting me, Red Moon Role Playing people.
Yay!
I saw this when you sent out the show notes, and I haven't gotten to listen to them yet, but I intend to.
I think it's interesting. I've been thinking about doing, well, when I do the setting for Vast Dominions, I was talking to you about this earlier. I'm going to do like audio newsreels. This just in from Titan, the giant blue simians have taken over.
I have to say that particular voice and that particular style is very popular right now. More and more people are very fascinated by the fact that people talk like this in the 50s. That's very exciting.
Right.
Oh, yes, and this just in. It's become a thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to. One of the things I want to do is make a bunch of newsreels that people can use.
That's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
And then the other thing that I wanted to do was to do a radio play, The Adventures of Zap Zarquan.
Exactly.
Zap Zarquan.
Zap Zarquan.
Zap Zarquan. And basically it'd be like it's like a,
Can I play Zap?
maybe, it's going to be like a,
Flash Gordon.
well, but it's going to be like a propaganda thing.
Oh.
It's going to be like,
Oh, nice.
Sponsored by the United States Space Corps.
Here we are. Taking over the Mars from the wily French.
All right. Describing scenery from Chris in I was going to say Orlando, and I meant to say Ontario.
They are very different.
Don't know if that's the Canadian Ontario or if that's the California Ontario, or if it's a different Ontario, because there might be more.
Does
sure
he
there's-
ever use the word dude in this email?
No, but he doesn't write like these on meth, so it may not be from Ontario.
Yeah, it's not.
You're in rare form today there,
Thank
Stu.
My apologies to those people in Ontario, California, who are not on meth. All 5 of you.
They had a great mall for a while. Like all the people-
Ontario Mills.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the fancy place to go shopping when I was in high school. Like you were in Riverside, you'd like, oh, we're gonna
Sneak
drive
across
out-
the border to Ontario.
Yeah, to Ontario Mills. That was the big nice mall, man.
They had one of those rainforest cafes in there.
Yeah.
I actually ate there once. It was fantastic. I loved that. I used to love the rainforest. Do they still have those rainforest
Yeah,
cafes?
there's one in downtown Disney.
Is there? Is
Yeah.
that the only one left?
I don't know. I don't
Ontario
track rainforest.
was
Cafe.
nice because it was north of Norco, so when the wind shifted, you didn't smell the cows.
The horses
Oh.
Is that what it was that I
in
smelled?
Norco. Yeah.
Okay.
Norco is Horsetown, USA. They have, well, at least when I was working there, it was like 3 horses for every person.
And perhaps emu.
They did have an emu. There was a guy who walked his
Llama?
ostrich and a camel down because they don't have sidewalks there. It's all trails on the sides of the road.
You put a leash around an ostrich?
He did. I don't know. It was weird. He had like a face thing for it.
It's really more of a noose.
Oh, that's because they're vicious little shits.
Yeah. Well,
They're really big.
They'll bite you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fine.
the biting's the least of it. They've got like
They have a brain the
claws.
size of a pea.
Yeah.
And that makes them mean.
And they are cranky.
Yes. Oh, all birds. Birds
That
suck.
explains most of the people I work with.
Are they bird brains?
But I wonder about the leash on an ostrich.
I never actually saw the ostrich. Like it was like a rumor. I did see the camel a couple times.
Camel's neck is long, but it's not as long as an ostrich's neck. I mean,
Right.
proportionally.
Well, you still had like a halter thing for a camel. I don't know how he walked the ostrich. I don't know. It might
Maybe
have been
just
a
grab
lie.
it by the neck. And
Well, considering they can carry a person, I don't know if that would work.
Ostriches can carry people.
Right?
Yeah.
You can
Didn't
They
you
ride-
ever
have
see
ostrich
Swiss Family
races.
Robinson? Yeah.
They have the little tiny people that ride them?
No. Full grown?
They're people
Yeah.
people.
They're not
Did
that
you-
big.
They're
They've
all
got to be
leg.
like jockey size.
They're all leg.
They have to be like jockey
And-
size people.
They are enormously strong and they have really nasty claws.
Yeah.
And they will kick the shit
They're
out of
pretty
you.
much-
velociraptors.
They're pretty much what's left of velociraptors. Yeah. Kimmy's not wrong.
Okay, real velociraptors
Never
are
wrong.
about that.
I know.
They're actually giant velociraptors. Describing scenery from Chris in Ontario. Hey, Happy Jacks. This is Chris from Ontario. You just said
Wow.
I wrote in a little while ago with help running a Vampire the Requiem game in LA. Unfortunately, real life has meant that we haven't been able to start. But your advice to look at council districts to divide the city worked perfectly, so thanks a lot. How do you know you haven't run the game? And I might go, oh, council districts, how mundane.
I remember this email though. Remember we were
I do
talking
too.
about subdividing Southern California.
Yeah.
Southern California. Yeah.
For the actual email, on to the previous topic, you guys were talking about describing scenery. One aspect I personally employ in my lazy GMing, that's in quotes, by the way,
That's just nice.
style,
Copyrighted?
is to, no TM either, is to just ask the players. I give them some basic description,
Yeah.
but then give a usually mood question to the players. You enter the apartment. What do you see that tells you that this man lived alone?
Oh, that's very leading. That's a very leading question. That's
Right.
awesome.
Right. Well, and it also, he's setting up what he needs to set up, and then letting them kind of fill in the details. Or target a specific player. You enter the tavern. What about it makes you feel at home?
Oh.
The guy in the corner with the knife? No. I sometimes will also ask the reverse. What about the tavern instead makes you, player B, feel uneasy? It gives the players room to add their mental picture to the world. I forgot to make the type larger. I usually make it 12 point, and this is like 10 or 9.
Do I have an 8? Do I have an 8? Do I have 7? 7, maybe. Perhaps 7 and 7.
I wouldn't be able to
Could
read it
good.
if
My
it
name
was
is
7
like...
or 8. It gives the players room to add their mental picture to the world and means things don't get lost in translation. Excuse me. I might think to say unwashed dishes means someone lives alone, but everyone just thinks he is messy. Or I might think that the thief likes a rowdy bar, but in actuality he likes someplace quiet where he can think. P.S. While I'm not a GURPS player myself, boo! I know an actual play podcast that gives a great example of its versatility. It's called Film Reroll, where each episode they go through a different movie. They've gone through Homeward Bound to Alien, all with GURPS. I think you guys would get a kick out of it. No link.
I actually think that's a great idea. I like that.
It is.
How to break down movies and into a RPG format.
Film
Dig that.
Reroll. So look for the Film Reroll.
I think we should do that. That's awesome.
And that was from Chris in Ontario. Are there any thoughts on outsourcing descriptions to the players?
I'm all for outsourcing things to players to fill in blanks and gaps and whatnot. Thing I would say is that when they say something, you need to make note of it so that you remember that that's what it was
Right.
when they said it. But yeah, I dig it.
If you're going to have your players do work for you, make sure you honor that stuff. Because they're going to... If you have good players, they're going to give you nuggets that you're going to want to mine. So when they say something like, the bartender, or you ask, what's the bartender look like? Well, he's a lizard man that has lots of scars on him. I'm going to steal your idea. And, okay, so now that, as Jim said, you should make note of that and make sure that guy comes back again because they've put the effort into giving you a really cool scene. Make sure that you honor it and make sure that stuff goes into play.
Right.
It isn't just dismissed.
Basically, this is an extension of the premise of weave it back to the player characters. You know, because if they're the ones who provided the information, they're going to be invested in it being that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be careful though.
Go ahead.
I mean, like if it's for basic descriptions, I think that I've done that before. But I think there's also an element of sometimes when you're sitting down as a player, you want to play in the world. You don't want to make the world.
Ding ding ding.
Okay.
that. If I was in a slightly cranky mood as a player, and someone said, "What does it going to look like?" How the fuck do I know? It's your game. You tell me. That's the first thing that would occur to my that would pop into my head. I may not say it, but it's what I'm thinking. Because when I'm playing a character, I want to be in the character, and I want to get immersed. And if I have to pull out of who the character is to now quasi co-GM, I'm feeling pulled out of the immersion.
Okay,
you know
I
what
think
I'm
that's
saying?
fair.
Yeah.
I think that if you use it as an opportunity to weave the thing to the character, then I think you're okay. But you can still overuse that too.
Yeah.
But that's very different than saying you walk into a tavern. What's the common room look like? Because it's like, why do they care? Why would they? That's not really theirs to provide.
Right.
But to say there's something in this room that reminds you of home. What is it?
My question is, would you even have to have the what is it part?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Could you simply say, you walk into this guy's apartment, it's clear that this guy is a bachelor.
No, I have no gripe. I would have no gripe with that.
Every player is going to paint their own picture. They're all going to be different.
Sure.
But there might be some commonalities. And that lets the players know, okay, yeah, maybe there's unwashed dishes in the sink. Maybe there's socks sitting on the couch. Maybe he's left his porn out. Or maybe there is pizza boxes all over the place, or the trash cans full of empty bottles of beer, or whatever that might mean.
That shows age when you're. There's like he left his porn out. How do you leave porn? Oh, his computer was left out.
I'm talking about the old days.
I guess make these things.
I guess he could leave.
I know.
I guess he could just leave. I guess he could just leave like his browser window open.
Yeah.
Handkerchiefs all over the.
Okay. Well, so what you just told me by telling me he left his browser open is that he is both lazy and not aware of risk.
Well, if he lives alone,
you never walk away from your computer and leave it unlocked.
What if you die and they come back?
We're signaling
you do not want to know how badly I can fuck with you if you leave your computer open.
of course. But if they lock the door,
See, for
then
me, it's
that's
like,
breaking and entering. It's already B&E.
See, for me, it's like, okay, you get hit by a bus, your family comes to like take care of your stuff, and that's the first thing they see.
Right.
Your computer open
Right.
with them, people
course.
banging on it. You're just
Right.
like, oh, you don't want that.
Or worse yet, if somebody goes through it trying to find valuable information, like the
Right.
stuff that they need,
Or how about
bank records or whatever, and they find 6,000 pages of.
How about when you open the browser window up, the little like bookmark bar is all porn sites.
It's all full. Okay, we're getting,
not the browser history. I'm talking about like the little.
We're getting a
like,
little
the
distracted
handy
here.
links.
we're getting a little distracted
And
here.
this is never mind.
Why you don't leave your computer
That can
on?
be the next
This
Patreon.
is why you put a utility on your computer that has a countdown clock, and if you do not log in every so often, it deletes everything.
Yes.
Well, that's like the iPhone has that self-destruct thing. If people enter code wrong. I mean,
Yeah.
unless they get rid of that.
I'll
from
just
the
forget
NSA.
the password, and then I'll lose everything like every couple of weeks.
Well, that's why you do backup.
Allie lent someone her phone, and they changed her passcode.
You're right, and now it's dead.
No,
It's
it
a
wasn't.
brick.
It wasn't in death mode where if you put it in too many times it kills it. But I had to factory reset it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
She had iCloud, so
We're wandering off topic here.
But I mean-
my thing is, if you're going to outsource descriptions to your players, you should honor that stuff, right? Because basically, you're having them do the homework for you. Now you have to do the rest of the work, which is to flesh that stuff out.
and to me that I run into difficulty with that
I get it
because
no, I get it. But this is an if. If you're going to outsource it,
most of my notes I do either before or after the game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Either
Now,
if it's before
here's-
the game, it's whatever my prep was. After the game, it's the stuff I scribbled down that I'm going to
Right.
go ahead
Now,
and make.
here's something I
wasn't
would
done,
add
but
to
go ahead.
this.
you have more to say.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry. I'm going to shut up now. Sorry.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
Scribbling down notes before and after the game, and you really don't want to do it during the game. Because you have to flesh out a outsourced NPC.
When I come up with, like, it happened in Moat several times. When I come up with, and this is my own descriptions, not someone else's. When I come up with like a description of an NPC, and the NPC changes, and then of course Samantha comes up and says, "That's not what you said about this guy
Oh,
4 sessions ago."
Flip.
yeah. Actually,
And if I have to remember everything that I'm making up and everything that the players are making up,
that's true.
I'm going to run into problems.
That's the first time you've admitted that.
What?
She actually.
Oh no!
Oh,
it
actually-
happened in the
oh,
session.
no, yeah.
It happened right in the middle of the session.
No, but
happens
it's
a
the first
couple
time you've been like,
Said that you fucked up.
yeah. Well, or at least admitted the fact that she actually.
Oh, she,
'Cause
she will actually me all the time.
All right.
She takes very good notes, and she's good at remembering her notes.
Yeah,
and she
she's
knows
good remembering
she,
everything.
She turns to the page. She doesn't sit there and like wander.
No.
She'll go, NPC.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's the pictures she draws.
Does she? I've
draw
never seen her.
She
I've
does
never seen
great pictures
I
on
wanna
the
see her
sides. It's really
notes.
cool.
But that to me is something, especially if you're going to make it count and it has to matter. I gotta remember it. I don't remember shit very well.
I
Not
get
anymore.
that.
Anyway, go ahead. You don't remember what you're going to say now.
If you are going to do this, the thing you are going to ask them about had better be relevant to the storyline. Don't ask them about trivial shit. If you're going to ask them to fill in a blank about something, it better be relevant.
I agree with that.
I love to outsource
I agree with that.
the failures.
That's different, I think.
Well,
Yeah, that's different than giving narrative control up.
yeah, it is.
Because, and also, as we said before, and I've seen this in print in RPG books more than once, players are going to be harder on themselves for a critical failure than the GM is going to be.
Sure.
In most cases.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back a little bit. I've told a story over and over and over again about the game I ran where a player asked if there were clouds. And I said, would you like there to be?
Right.
And it freaked her out.
Right.
Totally freaked her out. Because I was supposed to decide whether there were clouds or not.
Yeah.
I'm like, not in Fate.
What she probably thought was that you would already know whether there were clouds or not.
Right. And the really relevant question though is, what are you wanting to do with these clouds that you are asking if
Right.
are here? Because in Fate she would have been creating an advantage with the clouds.
Right.
And so it's really up to her to decide.
Right.
Maybe the relevant question to ask is when they say, "Are there clouds?" And you have to look at them and go, "What do you want to do with clouds?" And cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
And just let's get over the whole description part. It's like, what is it you want to do?
Right.
Because that's really the players are going to hem and haw and ask about stuff and see what the advantage is. But eventually, it comes down to what it is they're going to do. So it's like, what does he want to do?
I think
Just tell me.
yeah. I think it depends on what system you're running to.
Well, yes.
Definitely, because there's systems where when I sit down, I want you to describe, like L5R, like I want to be really immersed in that world.
Right.
While that is still a collaborative storytelling exercise, like Rokugan is a place that I want to visit when I play. But when I sit down and like when I'm playing Interpol X or when we played Masks, some of the Powered by the Apocalypse stuff, it's more of a collaborative storytelling, like let's come up with this together. So I don't mind so much when we're playing that if Adam or Jib is like, okay, well tell me what that's like. What does your power look like when you use it? Or, when you use that, what happens to, when you hit that thing? And I like that in those situations because when I sit down, I'm prepared for that.
Right.
And I'm ready and in the mood for that.
I think I think that's a very good point. I think there's a fundamental point of relevance here, and that is that Rokugan is a very evolved world. There's evolved literature about it
Yes.
and material. Masks game is a conjuration of our creation at the table. There's not this evolved, published world. So I think that's a relevant thing to keep in mind as well.
Yeah.
Yes. However, Stu is one of the smartest people I know, and he has a very different take
You
on the
don't
world.
know very many smart
I don't.
people.
I don't. I really don't. You should meet some of the morons I hang out with. And he has a really different take on the world than I do. and I'm constantly fascinated by what he throws at us because he loves politics, he loves intrigue, and these are things in games that I don't have the facility to pull off or even think about. And so whenever I play in a Stu game, he's constantly throwing things at me that I am completely unprepared for. And if I had the opportunity to change his story, it's not going to be better. It's going to be worse because it's going to be something I know how to solve. He throws me things I don't know how to solve. And that's fascinating to me and much more fun. So playing in a Stu game, and if I were to change a bunch of his outcomes, I would ruin his game.
Okay, I think that's a fair cop, but I don't think that Chris is talking about changing plot points and outcomes.
Oh, we're talking specifically now. I thought we were talking about the broader picture. Okay.
Well, I would just like to point out that Stu, who you don't like messing with the setting,
Right.
designed a setting where you specifically have the power as a player.
Well,
to fuck with
okay.
the setting.
No, we're still talking about the broader picture here. I kind of had an epiphany here. Let's not bag on this epiphany.
I'm just gonna
or
say.
Stu.
No, I'm not bagging on Stu. I'm saying like he specifically, like you're absolutely right about him being great at creating worlds, and Eldamy, while it's in D&D, was like you conjured all that up.
Yeah.
Which I think is cool, and it felt like a much more weighty thing. It felt like it could have been like Eberron or anything else that is put out.
And
for
I've
D&D.
run a couple of campaigns in that thing.
Yeah, so it's got a bunch of weight too. But I also think that you are also capable and have run, games where we are totally feel empowered to be like, oh no, here's a moment of truth. This is like that,
Right.
and changing it too. So really, it's just kind of like the agreement that is set down when whoever
I think
people sit down.
so. I mean, if I was
Yeah.
to sit down and play a Fate game and where it's like there are clouds,
Yeah.
right?
Right?
You throw a Fate chip and make it happen or whatever.
Yeah, you spend a fate point, you make a die roll, and you make the thing. Well, yeah.
And
we need to get you in a fate game.
You played one or two.
yeah, but that was kind of a hack of a Fate.
There's
game.
one coming up. We
That
have
was-
one on the next One Shot Saturday, which is January 20th.
She doesn't
Oh, that's
memorize.
Fate, that's Fate Core, right?
Yeah,
That's
just different.
Wes's game? Okay. I'm probably going to be mixing. I'm probably going to be in there mixing because that's right after. I have 2 marathon weekends
Oh, yeah.
in January of
Exciting.
Boggarts and
recording.
Wives.
Boggarts and Wives have to get all of their CDs done,
Before fair.
and then I have to mix them all
Yeah.
and send them to the print shop and
For
get them
free.
back before fair.
Yeah.
For free. While
Well,
other stuff is
whatever.
happening.
But I think if depending on the kind of game you're sitting down, like the vampire game, if it's like okay, or you walk into the Prince of whatever city. What city is it set in? Do you remember?
The one we're about to start?
Yeah,
Krakow.
Krakow. So you walk into the prince's chambers in Krakow. What does it look like? No, Kurt. You need to tell me what it looks like
Right.
because I don't know what the fuck. I think Krakow's in Poland, but I'm not even sure about that. So you need to tell me.
It's a Czech Republic, because
Check 1, 2.
Oh God. I think that means we're at the end of this.
Suffering never ends.
It was the funniest
suffering
joke. I laughed out loud when I read that joke. I'm like, I'm stealing that. Sorry, webpage with too many ads on it. I'm lifting that one joke that was funny and I'm putting it on there. Anyway, all right. Did we beat this enough? Is this?
Yeah.
I think
Of
it's
course,
good.
a bloody pulp on
Some-
the
I
ground.
think
Some
it's
others-
glue.
Oh,
There's glue.
by the way, if you haven't watched Bright, I watched Bright. I liked Bright.
Yeah.
I thought Bright on Netflix.
I have not watched Bright yet, but I'm gonna.
Well, it came out today, so if you haven't, it's not like you're way behind the curve. Like it was literally released, I think, this afternoon.
If you haven't
Really?
watched it by 9 p.m. Pacific time, you don't have a right to bitch about spoilers.
You know what, though? That's what's happening these days. I was like, okay, I've been busy, haven't seen Star Wars yet.
Neither have I.
And
tomorrow.
there are already spoilers. I'm actively trying to dodge them.
Dude.
They're coming at me. And I'm
And
like,
you're not on Facebook.
and I'm not even like a spoiler kind of guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I'll look at behind the scenes footage. I don't really
Right.
mind. That's really cool.
So should
but
we talk about
I'm
Star Wars?
actually
twice.
No.
avoiding
I wrote an article on it
sites
that
just
people hate
because
me
I
on
know
it
they're
for.
full of spoilers.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, and the thing
ridiculous.
is,
And I don't care. I get it. But really, it's only been out for 3 days.
Force Awakens, I read the book a week before I saw it. Maybe even more than that. So I actually knew more about the story because I know what what species the different
Yeah.
characters are because they're not named in the movie, but they're in the book.
It's like I had the same head start with Game of Thrones, which is why I
Right.
was like, "Oh, really? Has there been a wedding yet?" No, why? What happened? No, nothing.
Right. But so spoilers, whatever. I was going to buy the book and read the book, but the book doesn't come out till March for Last Jedi.
Yeah, they figured it out last time. Don't put them out early.
Don't put. Well, I put them out early. I'll read it, and I still went and saw it anyway.
Yeah.
But people who've seen a thing aren't qualified to determine whether something is a spoiler or not,
Fair enough. That's actually really
because
smart.
you've lost
Perspective, yeah.
the perspective to know whether what you're saying is a
I
spoiler.
think
That's
you
true.
might be very
It's
right.
interesting.
So I've just been anything that where I
Wow.
see a Star Wars hashtag or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've just been avoiding
That's
it,
where I'm at.
and I'm just.
It's driving me to the theaters because I'm like, I can't keep dodging these boulders. They
It's
keep
not
rolling
doing
down the
very
hill at me.
well. It's not doing very well box office wise.
Apparently, there's stuff is happening in the movie that's pissing people off, and I'm like, well,
People are fairly polarized about it.
I'm dodging the boulders. I don't know what it is.
I do, but I'm not going to talk about it because
Good.
You're not qualified to talk about it spoiler free
Yeah.
because you don't know if it's going to be a spoiler or not.
Also, evidently, because I have a vagina. That's what the people.
No.
That's what men on the internet have been telling me. all
Really?
day. It's my first day of vacation. Of course, I spend it all day arguing with people on the internet. That's what I do.
So, because you
You
have
need a hobby.
I have hobbies.
You know what?
that is
Okay.
Warhammer.
Arguing with people on the internet is a hobby.
Build an army to fight my 1,000 sons. It'll be awesome.
Well, I multitask while I argue with them. That's like the fun part.
How many of those Warhammer characters have vaginas?
There's one entire army that's made up. It's called the
One.
Battle Sisters
Battle
or
Sisters.
something
And
like that.
how many of
They're all
the
in
armies are
bikinis
there?
and heels, like crazy
Really?
heels.
Oh,
Really?
of
Really?
course, of course.
Oh, okay.
Well, see what they
I
need to
actually
do.
like.
models
I
one.
actually like them. Might actually cosplay that at some point because I like the design.
I think the
Kimmy, I was trying to help you out.
I
Oh,
thi-
no, fine.
I think the Space Marines.
I know.
I would love to have a Space Marine costume because those are
Those are
freaking awesome.
cool.
With the big,
Yeah.
huge shoulder pauldrons. Is that they're called?
Pauldrons.
Pauldrons.
Yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
So, you were listening to Persepolis Rising.
I'm not done. I'm about 3/4 of the way through.
Okay, I finished it this week.
Yeah.
So-
It's so good. It's so good.
It
At
is-
first I was
it's
like-
very good.
Yeah.
What's Persepolis, right?
The next Expanse novel.
Oh?
It just came out 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Maybe. I
yeah.
think.
Oh?
I'm loving it.
Digging it.
It's a little bit of a jump in time, so it takes place. It's not like this book ends, this book starts, this book ends, this book starts. It's like there's been some time, and then this book starts.
That's new because usually it's
It's right
one
after
the
the other, right? Yeah.
I think they are jumping forward, and then they're going to start a new back to back to back to back
That's what it sounds like.
series.
Yes. I think so.
Because it's totally set up for more books.
I figured it would be. I'm at the point now where I'm kind of starting to see that.
These guys were game designers, right? So they know exactly. It's just like Mass Effect, where they like jump back in time
Well,
and forward in time, and they want to make sure that you.
One of them
do
was a
reset.
game designer, and one of them was an assistant to George R. R. Martin.
That's got to not be fun work. Really?
But the game designer was contracted to design a game world, a universe for a science fiction video game, and then the video game collapsed.
Right.
So he never got paid for
Yeah,
it. So he's got these, binders and binders and binders of information, and he gets together with this guy who's, a writer, and they're like, let's make a game. Let's run a game. So there was a game about it, and then
Wait a moment. I've got binders and binders full of information. What makes him any better than the rest of us?
Tyler says that
Talent?
the Sisters of Battle are not in bikinis. They're armored nuns that set shit on fire.
There's one set. Okay, I might have it wrong because I don't know much about Warhammer.
It may not have been a battle sister. It may have been because there's I think there's a couple alien races that have a few female
Okay.
like named characters, and some of those are wearing like skimpy.
These guys are wearing like the crazy high heels that like models actually can't walk in. Like they literally they pose.
I
while
don't
people
think that's the battle sisters.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably not then. But there was one and a girl did a cosplay of it. It looked really fucking badass and really cool. But she literally stood for a moment and then sat down and people caught her, and then stood up for a second so she could pose for the picture, and then fell down and people caught her. She couldn't stand.
The Lady Gaga heels.
Yeah, they were. They're exactly the Lady
Yeah.
Gaga heels, like the ballet ones that
Yeah.
Oh.
you're on your toes.
That you're on point
Yeah.
all day long.
those
But
look like they would hurt.
I figured, you know what? Just make female heads for Space Marines, and everyone said no, Space Marines are supposed to be male. I'm like, okay, we'll just change the.
Wow, did you get a lot of hate?
No,
Bad?
no, not really. But they're going through the previous fiction for the Warhammer universe.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, there's like hundreds or thousands of chapters. There's maybe a few that are unnamed. Maybe one or two of them had a female progenitor or whatever they call it.
As flawed as the Starship Troopers.
Well, but they're all
movie
supposed to
was-
be based on the Emperor and the Emperor's
As
name.
flawed as that movie was, I did laud the fact that it was a multi-gender setup. All right, they have women and everybody's all showering together. I did
Yeah, no,
laud
those aren't
that.
the ones I saw. I've seen cosplays of those. Those would be cool.
Those are battle systems.
Yeah, those are not what I. That's not what I was thinking
Yeah.
of.
The armor in Warhammer 40K has to actually work.
All right, D&D falling damage.
Okay,
Chris
all right,
and
sorry.
Kanata.
Sorry.
Hail Stuthalulu. Stuthalulu.
Starship Troopers flawed heresy. If you're talking about the movie,
I'm talking
you're
about the
wrong.
movie.
If you're talking about the book, you're right. It is heresy to say it's flawed.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic book.
Okay, so Cthulhu and the Balls Deep ones. You may or may not have remembered the falling damage wars from the early 1980s.
Now this is interesting because you've
Yeah,
used falling damage, the falling down the stairs thing as sort of the litmus test.
It is my litmus test. Yes, it is.
You're about to get well, actually.
I guess.
think so.
I guess, but he never actually calls me out. So I mean,
Not specifically.
maybe he's being polite.
Tyler said, "Oh man, I've missed Stork's attempts to read emails."
We miss you, Tyler.
How can
working
you
on
miss
my
him? He's
aim,
so
though.
fucking tall. Just aim higher. The D6 per 10-foot rule was declared by many to be totally inaccurate and somehow injurious to the moral fiber of mankind. Frank Menzer started the entire fracas in Dragon number 70 with the claim that Gygax had always intended falling damage to be cumulative.
Oh, that makes it different.
1d6 for the first 10 feet, and then add 2d6 for the second 10 feet, then add 3d6 for the third 10 feet, and so on, and so on. And they tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
So I would have killed Kimmy's character.
That totally would have killed my character.
Yeah.
Or it really, really, really screwed
Right.
me up.
This yields 1d6 damage for every 10-foot fall, 6d6 for every 30-foot fall, 15d6 for every 50-foot fall, 21d6 damage for a
60-foot
fall, and et cetera, et cetera. By issue number 88, there were multi-page rebuttals replete with oddities of physics calculations,
With
accumulating
oodles.
in one article with the simplified equation hashtag D6 to be rolled.
It's a
What?
different email than I do.
What? What?
Nothing. Go on.
What?
Keep reading.
All right. With the simplified equation hashtag D6 to be rolled equals 5 times the square root of the distance fallen in feet divided by 4 plus the remainder as a rolled fraction of a D6. Let me just read that again because the maths are like beyond me. I think you're going to need like the one of those what do they call the reverse Polish notation column?
Culminating in one article with the simplified equation number d6 to be rolled equals 5 times the square root of the distance fallen in feet.
Divided by 4
Divided by 4.
plus the
Plus the
remainder.
remainder as the rolled fraction.
Okay. All right. All
Are
of you people. All of
you guys know that there's GURPS.
I'm not making
And
this
you
up.
could
This
just
is
play GURPS.
Then up to 3 sequential saving throws were applied per page 81 of the 1E damage with dex modifiers to possibly reduce the total amount up to half, quarter, or 1/8 of the result.
You know, I have a copy, almost pristine copy of the original DMG, the hardback, that I got from it was a used bookstore, but it's not a used book. It was a brand new book that's been sitting on the shelf someplace. There's actually a blood stain on one page. It's like
yeah.
someone like pricked their finger and
I
touched the
actually,
page, like this little wipe of blood on it.
Actually have all mine. Actually.
I don't. But the only original book I have is DDs and Demigods.
This system had the unfortunate consequence of a 3d6 plus 1 minus 5 damage roll for 10-foot fall if you weren't wearing magic armor or were somehow bound hand and foot. And so it continued for a while. The battle was realism versus expedience. Yeah. And neither side truly won. Had any of the proposed improved, and that's in quotes, systems been adopted, then falling down the stairs in AD&D or jumping off a cliff would have been much more deadly. Best regards, Chris in Canada. Bobcat on the forums. Oh, Bobcat. Yeah, he's been very active. Yes, consume mass quantities. I thank you. Thank you for that. I'm not sure that disproves my point.
Well, it does show that D&D is more deadly than we thought. Because
Or it can be. It's
or
basically a big
potentially
glorified
more
house
deadly.
rule.
Well, yeah, this doesn't say
Well-
that's actually what's in the book right now. It's saying
Because it's
what
not
was
what's in the book.
Yeah, it's not what's in the book. We played it right, but this is
well,
a concept.
It is an assertion, that was made in Dragon Magazine issue number 70 by Frank Menser, that what Gary Gygax intended was this,
Right.
instead of what people actually do.
Considering how many words Gary Gygax uses to describe things, I find it odd that he couldn't make that clear.
That's fair call. I find it interesting that anyone would try to apply the litmus test of realism to a game with attrition damage.
Well, sure.
Well, we should talk to David Arnson. I bet he had a better take on it.
You can't talk to him either.
Oh, sorry. Should I bring his name up?
He's passed on.
Oh, sorry. Here's the thing. We know that damage is abstracted in D&D, and that's really the point.
It's distracted in everything.
Yeah.
It's
To
just
try to justify it.
And I think we were
With the
when we were
maps.
playing fifth. I think we read the rules correctly. I don't think that there was a missing cumulative that we didn't put
I
in.
don't think so because we were all shocked.
And it was not possible
Yeah,
to kill a character with
my character.
with like I don't
yeah.
remember what it was, like a 30 to 50 foot fall. It was a
It was
pretty-
it was like 40 feet, I think.
yeah, it was a big fall. It would kill everyone. I mean, there'd be a few people who would survive and get rushed to the hospital.
40 feet's 4 stories. That's a 4-story building. You're falling off the roof of a 4-story building.
Yeah, you can survive that. You're not going to survive it intact. There's no way.
Even wearing plate armor.
According to a doctor,
Maybe especially
this is an
when
actual
played.
conversation with a doctor, an adult human would have an 80% mortality for a 3-story fall.
Okay, that makes sense to me. At what point do you hit? What is it called? Terminal velocity.
Terminal velocity.
32 feet per second?
It's 32 feet per second squared. Terminal velocity is 250 miles an hour.
33 feet per second. Yeah.
So you're not gaining that much speed after 3. You're way below terminal velocity, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think you just about hit it if
I don't know.
off of a 3-story building. At
I don't know how fast.
Yeah, all right.
I can't math.
32 feet per second. So basically
also
you
like-
fall 30 feet in 1 second.
Well,
so if
we're
it's a
all just
4-story
guessing
building,
at these numbers anyway, so we're
Well,
we're
not the
really-
32 feet per second
Well,
per
no.
second thing.
I was also an orc, so orcs are tougher than humans.
That's true. There is that.
That's true.
Whenever we're playing
how
a game,
far do you have to fall to hit terminal velocity? We'll see what. Go ahead.
We'll see what happens. Whenever you're playing a game, there's
How far do you have to fall to hit?
1,200 feet.
so
That's pretty. It actually also
120
depends on what the medium you're falling through is.
Well, I'm assuming it's air, like Earth atmosphere.
Well, right, I get that. The definition specifically points out that the constant speed that a freely falling object eventually reaches when the resistance of the medium
Right.
through which it is falling prevents further acceleration.
Right. Yeah. I know terminal velocity is determined by the density of the
Right.
density of the atmosphere.
falling through water is going to be a lot slower.
That part I knew.
But okay, so 1,200. So basically, we're talking a 12-story building? No, a 120-story building.
No. 1,200 feet? Yeah, 120-story building.
120-story building.
that's a
Approximately.
long way.
That's a really long way
Yeah.
to hit terminal velocity. So basically, a 120-story building, about the time you hit the pavement, you would have hit terminal velocity.
I mean, there's people who jump off the Golden Gate Bridge and live. Like,
Well,
I've watched interviews
yeah.
with them,
Right.
and so I mean, it's unlikely, but it happens.
Sure. They're usually falling in water.
Well, water's not better. When you
No.
hit the surface tension of water, it's like
Right.
landing on concrete.
Yeah.
From that height.
Yeah. Again,
Yes,
okay.
I mean, maybe it's better.
but it's not concrete.
maybe
You
yeah.
can dive into water from 20 feet. You can't dive into concrete.
Yeah. Right. But
And there are things you can do to probably ameliorate the damage from water, maybe. But I don't know.
it was just like the creepiest interview I ever saw because he was like,
I was
yeah,
off by about 50 miles an hour.
oh,
Well, it's 122 miles per hour or 54 meters per second.
That's fast.
yeah.
That's that's going to take a while.
So terminal velocity is actually
Oh, the chat room just shared the Splat calendar, a free fall calculator. It's at
Oh my God, the splat calendar.
yeah, it's
That's awesome.
angio.net/personal/climb/speed. So we'll put it in the show notes.
Oh, no, it's porn. No, it isn't.
Oh no, it's
Oh, it says following parameters: height in meters, mass in
yeah,
kilograms.
it's not porn. It's James
No, it's
V.
not.
He's cool. He's not going to send me porn because he knows I'm going to read it. Don't do that.
And now everyone else is going to say.
I know. I can't read any links anybody sends me
Ever.
ever.
Thanks, Stu.
Sorry,
That's why we can't have nice things.
I know.
One
Okay,
of
now
many-
Jib is going to read the next
many
email.
reasons.
All right,
Because it's on his phone. Because I copied the wrong email over. GM Victory from Eric in New Jersey.
Hello, you magnificent fucking bastards. I love you all. It's Eric from the fabled Garden State of New Jersey here, land of strip malls and beaches overrun with obnoxious New Yorkers. If you remember, I wrote in to complain that even with a few decades of RPG GMing experience, I couldn't get L5R right, and I was running D&D with fucking samurai. There were several suggestions on the show and in the forums, but for whatever reason, Stu's suggestion of make them drink tea stuck with me, and I decided to send the players to a tea house. I did this by having the players report to the imperial governor of the city after their fight with the Oni. The governor suggested they needed a break and they should go to a tea house. They ended up drinking tea and sake while I had an NPC come in and sit with them for a while to give what I thought was the epilogue of the story. All that did was make them paranoid. The one crab player asked the rest of the group if it felt like someone was keeping them out of the follow-up investigation, and my brain
Go
after
grab.
Go crab.
Yeah.
and my brain after years of Happy Jacks listening went, yes, and I know exactly who is trying to keep them out. I didn't tell them that obviously, but then we spent an entire session with the players who are deputies to an Emerald Magistrate, dealing with some Jade Magistrates and various factions in the city. It made for a fun game where the players had to make some hard choices over advocating mercy in a situation which brought them the enmity of an entire clan. We had a simple scenario involving bandits holding the children of a village hostage just for them to calm down, and now next session the Unicorn Clan is coming to kill them and the child they are protecting.
Excellent.
It should be
Because
fun.
everyone knows Unicorn are the villains of every game.
They have horses,
That's why.
Why are they
and they really, really like their horses.
The horses are nice.
And the horses
In
like
that
them.
way.
Yes.
It should be fun. This is a short campaign coming to a close, but I think in the end I am finally getting it right. Even if my players call the game Legend of the Five Circles. Maybe it is time to run masks. Oh, by the way, it's always time to run masks.
And I think your players know exactly what buttons to push. That's pretty funny.
Legend of the Five Circles.
So it's the Olympics.
At least I got the number
Yeah,
right.
yeah, it's
They
the
did.
Olympics.
The copyright violation. Can't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for the advice. It helped out a lot. Keep gaming, and I can't wait to see what clan Kimmy picks in your new L5R actual play. Go Dragon!
Oh, she didn't pick
Ooh,
Dragon.
I didn't. Sorry.
Sincerely, Eric P., a.k.a. Eric from New Jersey, on the forums. P.S. Drink.
Yay.
P.P.S. Do you guys have Weyerbacher beer out your way?
I have not heard of it.
We could probably find it. We have a Bevmo within staggering distance of here, really. We stagger a lot. But I
a lot of
bought it.
staggering.
What is it? It's a Bayermacher?
Weyerbacher.
Weyerbacher.
Weyerbacher?
Weyerbacher?
Or Weierbacher,
Bayermacher?
if it's German.
Weyerbacher.
I've not heard of it.
I'll see if I can find it.
There are more brands of beer than I
Yeah.
will ever try.
I have not tried that one myself, but I'm adding it to my list.
Excellent.
Bayermacher?
I have faith in our collective ability to try every beer there ever is.
I
Thank
agree.
you, Kimmy.
You're not pulling your weight.
High five, yeah.
No.
Yeah. Totally. I think that the Happy Jacks community, and us included, are very capable of trying every beer out there. And let's not diminish it by saying we can't and saying, oh, I'm too old. But I think we really need to.
There's no I in can't.
True.
So-
You're right. Challenge accepted.
So, Weyerbacher Brewing is in Easton, Pennsylvania. They have a number of interesting labels, including Sexy Mother Pucker.
Oh, I've seen that one. Okay,
Oh, so
I
it is
have
out
seen
here
Yeah,
somewhere. Okay.
I think so. Or somebody bought it for like a joke or something. Because I
Okay.
remember seeing that label.
I take that back. I have had a wire rocker because I have had Mellow Monks.
Okay.
So
I like their
Nice.
puns. And, well, in Pennsylvania, what else are you going to do for fun, right? But come up with beer, clever beer labels.
There's
they have one called Easton Brown and Down.
there's Amish golfing.
Easton Brown and down, going ahead and trucking. Come on. You know.
I'm with you.
Bobcat in the chat room says that he's doing his part for Beer Variety.
And Bobcat, we read your
Go
email.
Bobcat.
Yeah, he's very excited that you read it. Thank you.
He's very upset that I read it.
No,
Thank
he's
you.
very, very excited. No, he said thank you.
News, question, and horror from Minnesota Die Tosser.
That's me. GM Victor. Wait, where are we?
We have to
Is
skip
it
over
right?
that, yeah.
Oh, we have to skip that one.
News,
So, we're having a
question,
streaming
and
horse,
horror
I was paying attention.
from Minnesota Die
Got it.
Tosser.
Hail and well met, Stu the Wanderer and douchebags of yore.
I get that reference. Does Stork get that reference?
Stu the Wanderer, douchebags of yore. Isn't that Gru the Wanderer?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know Gru?
I've always had friends who were comic book geeks.
Yeah.
Always.
Now, Sergio Arnones.
I read one. They handed me one. You got to
They're
read this. You're gonna love it.
hysterical.
I read one. I'm like,
It's fine.
Really? There's Sergio Arnones, which is the guy that used to do the little. Remember Mad Magazine? This will be quick. I'm
No.
almost done.
Yes,
You
I do.
still get it, don't
I'm
you?
almost done. Quick. He used to do these little like one thing cartoons like in the spine of the magazine or like on the bottom of the pages and stuff. And he's on record as being the fastest cartoonist. Somebody say they would throw him a topic and he'd whip it out. And so he's unbelievably clever. And
on
then
the
he-
spine.
yeah,
Of
like
a book.
if you
Like-
open up a Mad Magazine, like in between
margins.
in the
In the
margins,
margins.
he would do
Oh,
the cartoons.
okay. I picked up a copy. There's the Star Wars special of Bad Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Came out, and I thought, I'm going to get this. Zachary might like it, or Allie might like it. Neither one have cracked it open.
Yeah.
And it's got Rey, and it's got Luke Skywalker as Alfred E. Newman
You mean Alfred E. Newman is.
As Luke Skywalker.
as Luke Skywalker.
But I don't want to be pedantic. So anyway, look at the
Yeah.
margins.
I will.
Sergio's still around.
I don't
He-
think Bob Martin.
he-
Or is it Don Martin? Bob
Don.
Martin. Don Martin.
Please.
Who's Bob Martin?
I don't know, but Don Martin, for God's sake, is a comedic god. He's like, it's not like I base my entire style off of Don Martin. Please, let's not talk about this. Moving on. Go ahead. You had an email you were going to
Yeah.
read.
Rob Martin.
No.
Tom Martin.
MN Die Tosser on the forums from Minnesota. First email, been listening since 2013. I've ingested the entire delectable backlog, and my game mastery is better for it. So you have my thanks. News. Oh, these are like bullet points. He's very organized. Okay. News. I'm happy to report that I have finally found players for a Traveler game.
Huzzah.
Woohoo! A post-apocalyptic mashup of Blade Runner, Fallout, Road Warrior, and Battlestar Galactica.
I want to play that game.
Featuring players who do not know if they're humans or
I
synthetic.
definitely want to play that game.
Most humans and synths die to an engineered nanovirus.
Nano.
Distrust, suspicion, and survival will be their primary concerns.
Nanovirus.
Bullet point in the
nanovirus.
seconds. I'm also starting a Starfinder game set in the future after my Pathfinder game. Mathfinder jokes here. Bullet point 3. Still playing 2 Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 games and a Pathfinder game.
It's amazing you have time to play it or
lot
run
of
anything at
games.
all. That's a lot of games.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I'm supposed to ask you what Amish golfing is.
Amish golfing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say.
Okay.
I didn't know if anyone would hear that.
Tyler
comment.
picked it up,
Good on
and
you.
Tyler's like, Kimmy, ask Stu what Amish golfing is. That was clearly a joke setup.
No, it's not.
I'm letting him participate from afar.
And,
All right.
and you invited him back. Remember now? You remember now?
him. He's the question. Because the players aren't supposed to know without ruining the mystery, how do I maintain the suspense, of who is and isn't a synth? That's a good question.
We should probably leave it there. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
Do
the
we
next
wanna
part is
address that?
the next part is a gaming horse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I feel
Let's
like
address that
that's-
before we move
yeah.
on.
don't tell them.
But don't tell them.
All right.
Don't tell them, but drop clues about everybody, whether they are or are not.
Yeah.
Drop clues that might indicate that they are about everybody.
And we can't bring up Battlestar Galactica because he's already fully aware because he's bringing it into his whole thing. So I
Just
mean,
don't tell them.
yeah.
No. Don't tell them, but whether they are or are not a synth, drop clues that they are, that person is a synth.
Do you want to play it like a game of Clue where
Oh, I see what you're
they
saying,
don't
yeah.
even know if they're a synth or not?
Yeah.
Do you really want to go full on Galactica? Do you want to
100%, yeah. That's the way to go with
hells
that.
yeah.
Like, let them decide and don't let them know they're deciding. Like, when I play a con game sometimes, where I run a con game, and I haven't picked who the bad guy is, whoever my players pick is the bad guy, that's going to maybe be the bad guy.
Or maybe the second person they pick.
Yeah, or
If-
depending
if-
on how far
time.
along in my 4 hours I am, yes. But, so it's like throw clues out there for everybody, and then they're like, oh, God, I'm a synth, aren't I? Yeah, you are?
They're all going to end up synths.
Right?
Or-
Maybe?
Or,
Could be.
Or,
well,
no,
oh my
I'm
God,
not.
I'm a
There's
synth,
no
aren't I?
way.
No way to know.
Yeah. Or, yeah, I mean, like, have something there. I think that's, I don't know.
I actually did a Traveler game with Dave. It was a character gen, and then we had a short adventure. And the short adventure basically was them getting off planet. And the whole idea was find whatever you want. But the thing is, they woke up out of like cryostasis, and they got all their stuff, and then they had to get off planet. And the thing, the twist that I gave them at the end was the entire planet had been taken over by synths. They were the only true humans. They didn't know.
Right.
They didn't fully understand. They were just trying to get the fuck off planet because there was a rescue ship waiting for them. And maybe something like that can work, which is so you're on a planet full of synths and you're full on human, or maybe you're on a
Or you don't know.
or you don't know. You can always switch that stuff around. You can always keep it guessing.
One thing, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think the point is that knowing ruins the game, ruins
Yes.
the tension. I
Yes.
think keeping that stuff, I mean, Galactica maybe led us along a little bit too long, but when the reveals happens, you're let down. I think you want to keep that tension going as long as you can.
Well, I like the way, the fact that the Cylon detector that Gaius Baltar is working on,
Mm-hmm.
we know it works on Valeri because we see the computer screen. But it never works on anyone else,
Funny that.
even people who are Cylons. Right? We presumably, we assume, and so I mean that's something that could be fantastic, is to have some sort of method that someone has come up with to detect who the synths are and who's not a synth.
And they were sent themselves.
And have people take the test to find out if they are or not, or secretly go in and take the test to find out if they are. Some of them get the positive, some of them get a negative, and then find out a couple sessions later that was done by a synth, and the whole thing was just completely misdirection.
Yeah. Or synths don't exist anymore, but everyone's so paranoid about them that they all think that, like, they think everyone's a synth.
Right. I think a critical point here is never say anything definitive.
yeah.
Never say you're a synth. You know.
Right.
And if they say, "Oh my God, am I a synth?" It's like no way to tell. for
Couch
sure.
or couch how you phrase it very carefully and say, yes, the test came back positive.
Yeah, like have them ask another character, an NPC, not asking the GM.
Right.
That way you always have that little bit of wiggle room with, okay,
Yeah.
well, some of the NPCs say you are, some of them say you're not.
Right.
So who do they trust?
I love Blade Runner. I can quote like every moment of it, and that wonderful moment where he says, "How can they not know what they are? How does it not know?" Well, that's the hook right there. How do you not know if you're a synth? How do you know if you're a synth? And does it really matter? And that's
And if it gets to
thing
the point
about
where
it.
you can't tell, it doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, it's that granularity that is
Yeah.
really interesting.
With you.
Yep.
I think that's it.
Cool.
That's all the advice we have for that. And now onto your horror story.
But we do want to hear more about your game.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Update us.
Kimmy's right. Please update us.
Because that sounds like a really
Love
good game.
that.
Us more.
Yes. A gaming horror story.
Oh! Sorry.
The Side Quest from Hell. A few years ago, our regular gaming group was playing D&D 3.5 in Greyhawk every
love
other
Greyhawk.
Sunday for
Verbal
5
bump.
hours or so. Near the end of the campaign, the players were recruited to aid a pair of elves to reach a sage deep in the wilds of the Great Kingdom. Being agreeable players and not really knowing what else to do, we agreed to aid them. First session, tedious overland travel, multiple random encounters with rune hounds. It wasn't terrible, yet. Second session, more tedious travel over craggy, rocky terrain, more random encounters with rune hunters, and a couple with ghouls. All the while being harangued by NPC elves who were useless in combat to hurry towards the sage. We now have given the side quest about 9 hours of real-life gaming time.
Holy
it's
shit.
starting to suck now.
Well, come on, he varied the terrain. I mean, come on, it's different.
Dude, like, escort quests are the fucking worst, always. Like, always.
Well, he's got a third session there, dude.
You got
yes.
Overland and Craggy Rock.
Right.
What
That's
the
right.
fuck else do you
What
want?
I'm saying.
And he gave him rune hounds and ghouls.
Ghouls. Look at
Right.
that.
Right.
And more rune hounds.
Third session. More climbing, more travel, more rune hounds, more ghouls.
Right,
All the
because it goes
while,
up a mountain, so
Yeah.
so the terrain's getting steeper.
right.
Yeah.
All the while, no treasure, no character growth, nothing but bitchy elves and tedium. The players began talking about murdering the elves and wandering off into the sunset.
And we lived happily ever after.
That would have been better. Around 14 hours of our lives now we'll never get back.
We killed them.
We killed them all.
Their children.
Fourth session. After telling the DM that we were tired of the side quest, he assures us that it will end soon. More travel, more ghouls, more whiny elves, and finally, a cave.
Cave. Oh, look.
Yeah.
Look at the plethora of
Yeah.
terrain.
Right. And shocked that it's a cave.
The cave. We bravely rushed inside, trying to end the storyline, and ran into several traps.
Wait.
I
That
throw
needs to be
myself
a
on the
t-shirt.
trap.
I bravely rushed inside trying to end the storyline. That needs to be a t-shirt.
Yeah. End the storyline, and ran into several traps. The useless elves were again no help.
You couldn't even throw them on the
Yeah,
track.
somehow we managed to reach the inner sanctum, which turned out to be the lair of a dragon, because of course it is. The dragon is a sage, but will only answer questions if you cross his chamber without being defeated. We spent a good 2+ hours working out a plan for one of us to get across the room. It worked, but the answer we got was
42.
seemingly
Right?
seemingly unrelated to anything. The elf women were unable to meet the dragon's demands and thus left unsatisfied. The characters.
Wait. Elf. All of a sudden, there's elf women.
I think that's the
I think they were the
NPCs.
elf NPCs.
And thus left unsatisfied. That's why they were unhelpful, because women are unhelpful, Stork. That's why they couldn't
Well,
help
I
in
was
combat.
just with the whole dragon.
Just
They're
being
still
clear.
left
Oh,
unsatisfied.
it all sorts to fit together now.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
All right. The characters.
The interweaving logic of this
And
very
varied
complex
Yeah.
campaign with very. I get.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all making sense now.
Yes. They were wearing bikinis.
Of course they were.
They probably were.
Yes. The characters
there any
were left
girls in
wounded
here?
and with nothing gained over the course of almost 20 hours of gameplay. Not even a satisfying quest ending. The dissatisfaction from the side quest definitely contributed to the end of this campaign. To this day, we all hate ruin hounds, overland travel on difficult terrain, and whiny elves. Sandboxes should be filled with toys and adventure, not cat turds.
That, huzzah, is a t-shirt.
Yes.
Right there. Thank you so much for that
Oh my
one.
God.
Sandboxes should be filled with toys and adventure, not cat turds.
turds.
Why
Thank you.
problem make
Yes.
when you
Hold
know
on.
problem have you don't want to make?
Go ahead.
P.S. We still play with this DM, and there will be more tales of woe. Additionally, I have some GM confessions, but those will wait for another email. P.P.S. Drink if you like. Who am I to tell you what to do?
Right?
P.P.P.S. Thanks again for all the shared insight. We're all better for it.
Thank you for that quote.
you.
Sandboxes should be filled with toys and adventure,
Not
Not
cat
cat
turds.
Cat turds.
But it turns out they're usually filled with cat turds.
right?
At least they were at my school.
Oh, genius. Genius.
They don't have cat. They don't have sandboxes anymore at schools, do they?
No.
Yeah, it's because of the cats.
Right?
We used to find cat crap all the time
Right.
when
Yeah.
I was a kid. We'd play in the sandbox. And we didn't wash our hands. We were kids. Kids don't wash their
No,
hands.
yeah.
Today I'd be like, I gotta go wash my hands. I gotta go wash my hands.
Yeah.
Just wipe it off on your best friend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what you're friends for.
We got a game convention coming up
February.
The Valentine
15th,
Con.
16th, 17th, and 18th.
Somewhere
Yeah.
there. Yep.
LAX Hilton Hotel. Strategicon.net, baby.
I may dodge that one.
Oh, really?
I may come down for the podcast, but I don't.
He's
I'm not.
boycotting.
Are you boycotting?
Yeah, I'm not real. Not
I'm,
real
I'm
fond.
the kids loved the last
I
time,
know.
and
I know.
they will not miss another one. Well, they're going to miss all the ones in May, but
I'm
they were pissed off I didn't take them to Gen Con. I'm like, all right, take them to Gen Con.
I'm gonna be Jib the way Jib was like I don't know 2 years ago when he was like done with this fucking and he was like done with the
That's how
hotel.
I feel every time, and then I always want to go back. So now I have my game actually like planned.
Dude,
good,
what?
really?
I do. I just have to like convince my husband that on our 5th anniversary, it's going to be great to spend it at the con
Right.
at the Hilton.
That should be
LA
fine.
X.
Just make sure you have a room with a desk so he can write.
Yeah.
Your husband is an amazing man. I have to. I've met your husband, and he's a better artist. He's a better person. He's than I am. I like the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not sure on your 5th anniversary he's going to go for it.
We'll see. We'll see.
What 5th is what? Balsa wood? What's 5th?
Leather,
I better
something
not
like
get.
that.
basswood.
I'm okay with getting wood, but not that on my anniversary. I'm just gonna say. I don't know what balsa is, but I don't want any of that.
It's not. It is. It's pretty weird. But 5's a big one. No, I don't know. He's geeky though.
It's halfway to a number with a 0 at the end of it?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, here we go.
I don't know
I
where
I
this
found
is
it.
at.
Now, when you do anniversaries, there's the modern spin, and then there's the archaic one. So there's like 2 different things you can get.
There's U.S. traditional, UK traditional, and modern U.S.
Oh, there we go.
First, paper, it's U.S. traditional.
That's 5.
Cotton for UK. And modern is a clock.
A clock.
Yes.
Like it's been 5 years, honey.
No, 1 year.
Oh,
That's in the 1 year.
all right.
No, I missed
2 is cotton for U.S., paper for UK, and China for modern U.S.
What's 5? We're talking about 5.
5.
5?
Wood for U.S., wood for UK, silverware is the modern.
There we go.
All right.
So you could be like the Blue Raja
I am the Blue Raja.
with silverware. What else?
And my parents got to blue
Steel.
sapphire.
What?
Blue sapphire.
Is that
That's
modern?
only in the UK.
Okay.
That's the 65th wedding anniversary.
65.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow. I'm not even sure I'm going to live to 65, let alone be married that long.
The
Amazing.
Those two things are a little bit. Do I want to live to 65 if I'm going to be married that long? Like that story
Right?
inner monologue.
But you-
Like balancing
you're
that.
not wrong. You're not wrong.
60th is diamond for all 3.
Yeah. Well, you need a reward for putting up with anything that long.
And of course, 50th is gold and 25th is silver.
Yeah.
Jade, 35th.
What? And 5's paper.
No, 5 was wood.
5 is wood.
Wood.
5 is
Right.
wood.
So
Paper
Kim,
is
you're getting
1.
wood. That,
I already made that joke.
I know, but
Okay, I'm just
now
clarifying.
it's official.
Okay, official.
Oh, next year you get iron. That's it.
That's it. We're done.
We're
Anybody
ending
play
on
anything this week?
No, I didn't. Neither played nor ran anything. We did.
I played Interpol X.
Oh no, that's right. I ran a game on set last.
Yeah, you
Saturday.
did.
I
You-
did.
you
that
did
was
character
that's almost a
creation.
week ago.
Almost, because
Yeah, but it's within the previous week.
That's true. Yeah, I ran the Moment of Truth game,
Yeah.
which was what did I call it?
I don't remember.
Had a name.
It did have a name.
Had a name. There was stuff happened.
Something about
People showed up.
Wait, no. Give me a second.
I'm guessing.
Wahaha.
Wahaha.
That was the
Sorry,
name of the
close enough.
planet.
All right.
I forgot the name of the character. Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead. Good.
I ran a Fantasy Age game
Yay.
same day.
It was good.
It was fun. I kind of dig the system.
Yeah, it was very cool. I like the
I like the stunt
mechanic with the
mechanic.
stunt. Yeah, that was very fun.
It was these guys.
Yeah, Stanley
Yes.
Whiplash.
The Whiplash effect. That
Right.
was the name
That's
of
what
the
it
Whiplash
was.
effect.
Okay.
Got it.
Can you see their buggy eyes? I can see
Yeah.
their
Yes.
buggy eyes.
And who did that art?
I traced it.
Nice.
I traced it and gave him buggy eyes.
So
Nicely
not you, but kind of you.
Whoever it is that did this picture
Uh,
should get more credit than me.
yeah.
Because all I did was make the eyes buggier.
Yeah.
I guest played in Razor Ridge this last Wednesday.
Nice.
That
On
was
your
fun.
birthday.
On my birthday.
Yay.
And how was that?
It was fun. It was a fun game. I came up with a character that originally Mac was like, I don't know if this is going to fit. We might not be able to do this right now. I went, okay, that's fine. And then she came back and said, yes. We can do this right.
It's
now.
funny
Excellent.
because I submitted the character to her too, and she goes, "I'm not sure," and then she came back and said, "100% all the S's."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I may or may not.
Cool.
We'll see. We'll see. It's up to Mac. But it's the neat thing about Razor Ridge is that she's really incorporating everybody. What happened to Jessie? Did Jessie?
She wasn't
Jessie,
feeling well.
Jessie got sick and she has a new job, so she's working like 6 days
she's
a week.
adulting.
She's working for the mouse.
And does she do caroling? Because caroling will make you sick.
Yes,
know.
and chew up your
Carolers
December.
make me sick, but
Aww.
Bum.
90th anniversary is granite.
Granite. So
In-
you go
in
through
the
diamond
UK.
and everything, and you just start all over
And then
again
you
with
get a
granite.
rock.
I got a rock.
Charlie Brown.
Like granite countertops for my kitchen, because I'm cool with that.
Yeah, could I have diamond countertops at 25?
Okay, if you figure you get married at 20
Yeah.
and you're having your 90th wedding anniversary, that means
110.
you're 110.
Yeah.
How you're not even going to know if you have granite countertops.
Maybe by then,
even cooking.
who knows what the technology will grant us at that point.
Yeah, we got
Maybe I'll have a
granite
beautiful,
countertops
brand new Android
for
body.
the nursing home.
No, I'll have a perfect Android body by then.
Maybe.
My head will be implanted on it.
Android is 76th.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
The Android anniversary. Sexbot is 54th.
Wow. I'm holding out for that one.
Tyler says it's because you need a headstone. That's why. That's why it's granite.
That's why it's
Good joke, Tyler.
Pick your stone now.
Good joke.
It's funny because it's true. All
Yeah.
right, that's it.
Yep. We did character creation for L5R.
We did a character creation for L5R.
You should
Oh,
go
yeah.
watch it. It's on YouTube, and it should still be on Twitch right now.
And we're playing it's the
And it-
L5R beta. It's,
and
it's
it-
the new one. So the game that we're playing now will not be the game that we're finishing.
L5R character gen, for those who listen to the podcast, drops on Christmas Day.
Yep.
Yep.
But yeah.
Drops, like my rap album.
Control Z.
Yes.
How much material do we have backed up that we need to drop that we haven't yet?
Let's see, I just did it. Everything should be out, except for the stuff that is in the bottom of this list, on the bottom of the log.
We have not dropped Interpol X from this week or Razor Ridge from this week.
Everything else on there.
Roger.
I scheduled 5 APs. The last one goes down Thursday before New Year's.
So the
Okay.
stuff from Saturday.
That,
not
including that.
Okay.
Including that. We'll all, it's all scheduled. It drops
Cool.
on various days.
Can I say that for a second, Kimmy?
Yep.
I have to say that Kimmy is so official that she actually printed all of this stuff up with an actual logo. Oh, Stu
did that.
You did
Stu
this
did
too?
Yes, I have to have that because I get these cards that have a date on them. I'm like, I don't know what game this
That's
is.
amazing.
That's for me.
It's amazing. I love the fact that the logo's on there and everything.
I'll
put
take
the
credit
lo-
for the influence on him to make such a thing.
Okay, all right, I'll go with that. I've pissed off Kimmy enough tonight.
Not at all.
All right. Is that it? Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I think we're good.
Bueller?
Dude.
Bueller.
So my daughter, who's on
Orange
the
Whip?
Okay.
my daughter who's on the teaching track, she finally saw like the beginning
Woohoo.
of yeah, I know, yeah, she's exactly following Kimmy's footsteps. And actually
God.
saw the beginning of Ferris Bueller, which, if you think about it, whenever you watch Ferris Bueller, you always drop in like kind of like half an hour in.
Right,
You
'cause it's on TV.
And
Right.
she sat there and she watched the whole anyone, the smoot, when the act, and she's like, he's a bad teacher. And I went, yeah, that's kind of the point. When we grew up, the world was full of them.
Oh,
So
yeah.
anyway,
Absolutely.
does that make any sense? Does anybody care? No. Me talking about my daughter. Who cares?
It's okay.
I care.
Yeah, she's becoming a teacher. World needs more teachers.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Which one? Hannah. She's
Thank-
planning to teach.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. Go ahead.
I was just going to say Hannah's work is planning to teach English Lit at the college level. She's working on a PhD in English Lit.
Excellent.
No
More
shit.
teachers.
No shit.
It's
Love that.
fabulous.
I actually come from a long line. My father
I want to hand this to you so you can throw it at him.
Oh, it's empty. I don't want an empty one. That one's defective.
I was fine
It wasn't effective. It worked just fine.
after, I don't know, 30 years of knowing Stu. I was fine until Stu gave me that. The look killed me. I broke. Go ahead. I'm done.
This is awesome radio for everybody just listening to us giggle like 5-year-old girls.
Well, I ducked it, so it's quiet. No, it's not real loud right now.
I'm done.
All right. Are we done?
Huh? I'm sorry, did you say something?
No. Are we not ending the show? Are they listening?
And we'll leave you with a song.
Oh, how do you do, young Willie McBride? Do you mind if I sit here down by your graveside and rest for a while in the warm summer sun? I've been walking all day and I'm nearly done, and I see by your gravestone you were only 19 when you joined the great fallen of 1916. Well, I hope you died quick, and I hope you died clean. Oh, Willie McBride, was it slow and obscene? Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the pipe lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? And did you leave a wife or a sweetheart behind? In some loyal heart is your memory enshrined. And although you died back in 1916, to that loyal heart you're forever 19. Or are you a stranger without even a name, forever enshrined behind some old glass pane? In an old photograph torn and tattered and stained and faded to yellow in a brown leather frame. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? The sun shining down on these green fields of France. The warm wind blows gently and the red poppies dance. The trenches have vanished long under the plow. No gas, no barbed wire, no guns firing now. But here in this graveyard is still no man's land. The countless white crosses in mute witness stand to man's blind indifference to his fellow man. And a whole generation was butchered and damned. Did they beat the drum slowly? Did they play the fife lowly? Did they sound the death march as they lowered you down? Did the band play the last post and chorus? Did the pipes play the flowers of the forest? And I can't help but wonder, oh Willie McBride, do all those who lie here know why they died? Did you really believe them when they told you the cause? Did you really believe that this war would end wars? Well, this offering, this offering.